At you with another one. Now this is another figure that I got at Kaiju Brooklyn too, and it's the SH Monsterarts Godzilla 2004, Godzilla Final Wars. So this is Final Wars Goji, and this box continues along the same lines as the 54, the 2014, the 72, with the rips and the tears in it. And you can see the window inside to see into the Goji. It's a nice deep blue and gold color. You have Godzilla's dorsal plates, a couple of tears on the side here, Godzilla 2004. The back is really cool. You got a bunch of cool pictures of the figure. And on this side, we have another picture of the figure here with a window into the Goji. Same thing you can see on top. All of these tears look really cool, you know, like they look like Godzilla just clawed the box. But this happens to be a really nice color scheme. It's like a lighter blue mixed with a deeper blue, white, and gold. It's a very, very nice box. You know, SH Monsterarts and Haya make good boxes. And SH Monsterarts always comes through with nice boxes. And the presentation, you know, of their figures through the boxes are really, really nice. So then, you know, you have the normal logos and stuff here. But, yeah, SHM makes sharp boxes. They're very, very nice. So that's definitely a bonus. Let's get this sucker out of the box and see what we got. Okay, so we got clamshell packaging, just to show you how it comes. No accessories with this one, just the Goji inside. And yeah, standard packaging from SH Monsterarts. Let's get into it. All right, there he is, Final Wars Goj. So let's address the negatives right away, right? Like let's just get the bad out of the way. One, his eyes are not that great, you know. They're okay, like if you look at them from the sides, kind of wonky if you look at it from the front. So that's number one. Number two, there's huge gaps in the shoulders. That's crazy. Like, that might be the biggest gap I've ever seen on any SH Monsterarts figure, you know? Number three, one of his brows is too big. If you see the brow on this side compared to the brow on that side, it's a little on the wonky side. It's okay. I've seen some with worse. Mine is not so bad in that regard. The neck pieces could function tighter. You can see gaps right there too, where they just, if you move them, it takes you a while to line them up right. You'll be lining up neck pieces. You know what I'm trying to say? Like when you're getting them in, we're trying to get them into a pose. And it feels a little frail in certain spots, like the wrist, or you know, mine came with the tip of the tail off in the box. I put it back on, and luckily it hasn't fallen off again. But if you can see, the tail is kind of floppy. So, you know, just be careful in that regard. So yeah, that's basically the bad, you know. And I've watched videos where people are gushing over this figure, like how great it is. And these are a lot of the same people that were pissing on the 2019 poster edition. You know what I mean? And where this has way more quality control issues than that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, so that's it. That's where I stand on that, you know, where sometimes people they don't make sense. You know what I mean? they'll gush over this with these massive gaps in the shoulder area. You can see clean through to the other side, but they'll shit on the 2019 poster color edition when it's a beautiful paint job and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. All right, now with that being said, this figure redeems itself regardless in other ways and is actually a nice figure. Okay, so I'm not going to bash this or trash it. It's actually quite nice. I like Godzilla Final Wars. I like the movie. This is one of the toughest, strongest iterations of Godzilla on film. He just mows through every other kaiju in that film. You know what I mean? Until he gets to Monster X, Kaiser Ghidorah, who gets a couple shots in, but he gets put down too. You know, so this Godzilla just ripped through the competition. I like the look of it. I like the design of it, which you know you could really see. I think it really captures the design of it from the side here, in the face area. But so you know, it's not all bad. There are some good qualities about this. And one of the good things about it is the articulation. It's smooth. You could get them into a lot of different poses, which is cool. Could they have tightened up, you know, the shoulder areas and not had a gap? Yeah. But do the arms move around very freely and give you some posability? Yes to that also. You know what I mean? Same thing with the neck. They should have tightened that up so there's no gaps and it's easier to align. You know, it gets sunken in on one side, it turns around. You have to constantly be lining up the neck. So they could have improved upon that. But it's fairly screen accurate. The eyes could have been better done. It's fairly screen accurate. The paint job is good. Paint job on the fingernails and toenails is good. And the tail, despite it being, you know, somewhat frail, it's actually quite impressive and smooth and soft. Where each one of these is a different piece all the way to the tip of the tail. And that's pretty incredible. That allows you some nice posability. And it's a much softer tail than most of the SH Monsterarts figures. The dorsal plates are also fantastic. Very, very well done. The white dorsal plates with the smoky gray in the middle. I love that. That looks good. So paint job on this is A-okay, except for the eyes. The eyes are just decent. Nothing to write home about, you know. If they're okay from the side. But the posability on this is really, really nice. And that's what basically, and the look of it is nice. The accuracy of it is nice, which is what saves the flaws of the figure, basically. You know what I mean? And then it actually turns it into a really nice figure because of its strengths. You know? Every figure has weaknesses. Every figure has flaws. You can't really hold it against it sometimes. You know what I mean? You make the most out of it. It is what it is. But, you know, this is kind of unacceptable to me right here. Like, that's something, that's a legit gripe. Look at the gap there, man. You know what I mean? But you'll understand why when you see the articulation, but still. You know what I mean? Like, that could have been done better. So, you know, that's my major complaint about it, is that gap. And there are ways where you could hide it slightly, the gap, but you know, overall this figure is going to overcome its flaws. That's the bottom line, and it's still a nice purchase. Super nice because I got it for only $80 at Kaiju Brooklyn 2. Word up. You know what I mean? If I paid $100 for it, I might be bashing it a little bit slightly for them gaps, but nah, I like it. I like it. I'm happy. I wanted the figure for a while, and I'm happy that I was able to get it in person at Kaiju Brooklyn too, for a good solid price. And so now that all of that is out of the way, let's start really digging in and get into the good parts about this. All right, now let's get to the positives. And it's this articulation, man. That's what makes this figure skyrocket back up the charts. Beautiful articulation. You could put this figure in all kinds of dynamic, awesome poses. And it's just really cool. Look at the bend on the tail, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, look what you could do with that. That's nice. You know what I'm saying? The articulation on this figure is very, very smooth. It's good. It's good. You could make this thing do a bunch of different stuff. And that's what saves the figure. You know what I mean? And if you have it in certain positions like this, you're not really seeing the gappage as bad. So, you know, there are ways around the gaps in the arm to make it look like, you know, to cover it up slightly. So, but this is just fantastic, man. So that's what really shines through and just beats out the flaws. It's just the fantastic posability and articulation. It's smooth. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's soft. The legs move easily. The arms move easily. The head moves easily. And it's just really, really nice. So that's point number one, is the articulation. Very, very cool. All right, so let's pose them in another pose, and then we'll get further into it. All right, so yeah, I mean, look, man, every pose you could put this into is excellent. It's just dynamic. This is basically, I put them in the pose, one of the poses from the back of the box. I'll put them in another one so you could see. But that's excellent, bro. And let me point out right here, the teeth are very well done. The inside of the mouth is really well done. There's lots of detail on that. I like these teeth. Of course, you can see here with the eyes, they're just okay, you know? Just okay. Good from the side. Strange from the front. You know? Good from the side, strange from the front. But whatever, it's not like they're out of place or anything. They just, I don't know, they're a little bit strange. But they're fine anyway. You know what I mean? It's not like they're bad. But, you know, so you got the articulation and definitely the mouth. The teeth of the tongue and the inside of the mouth. And the paint job on this is really nice. You know? These dorsal plates right here. Awesome. Highlight of the figure, brings it back up. You know? And the overall look of it, you know, like the brows on mine is not as, well, I guess it is right here. You can see like the difference with this brow is kind of big and this one is not. It looks like it starts in a different place, but I don't know. It looks different from different angles. It's pretty screen accurate though. It definitely looks exactly like Final Wars Goji. You know what I mean? So, and you know the things that are wrong with it are pretty much wrong on everybody's figure. So, you know. But all right, let's keep posing. All right, and here's another pose from the back of the box. So, you know, I'm very, very impressed with what this thing can do so far. I just want to run through a few poses so you could see the articulation on this is very fluid. I love it. It's really, really nice. All right, let's keep going. Okay, and one more nice back of the box pose, which also demonstrates how high you could get this thing to look. His neck has got some, his neck and his head have some nice movement. You could look pretty high up on it. Pretty similar to, you know, how he looked and roared into the sky in Godzilla Final Wars. And, you know, that's what's dope about this. Like, the more you pose this picture, the more of a feeling that you get of Final Wars Goji. His movements, how he looked. You know, you can get him to into all of those poses to really convey how he moved around and looked in the movie, and I love that, you know. So it's another very, very cool pose. Bro. This is the articulation we're looking for, dude. Look at that. Tail off the ground easily. You know? Look at that. Look how sick it looks. Godzilla whipping around because he hears something. Or, man, that is awesome. Yo, I'm going to keep it real for you. This is one of the best SH Monsterarts figures in terms of articulation. Does it have its flaws elsewhere? Yeah, I stated them at the beginning of the video. But this makes up for it and then some with the articulation. You know what I mean? Like, where this just, it goes into the tops of all of the SH Monsterarts figures I have in terms of articulation. It's that smooth. You know what I mean? You could probably get more poses out of this guy than damn near anything else. You know? And so there's something to be said about that. That's a win. You know, this figure is not as expensive as some of the other SH Monsterarts out there. This could still be had for 90, 100 bucks, $110 online, you know? But man, that is nice, bro. Look at that, dude. You know, so like, just to be able to get it in poses like that is just absolutely awesome. Let's continue. And another thing I wanted to point out is just how far down you could get this figure to look. So we saw you could look up pretty high, but you could really look down on this. You could get some really, really nice crunch in the waist area. That goes way down. You know, and just look at the funky ways you could bend the tail. The tail is so soft and bendable. It's really well done, this tail. Even though it feels a little shaky and flimsy, it's extremely well done. And you can make Godzilla look damn near all the way down like that. That's sick. Great. Yeah, I absolutely love that. Look at that tail, man. This is a really nice tail on this Godzilla. Yeah, it might pop off here and there if you bend it the wrong way, but it's got some beautiful posability on it. You know, this is a very expressive Godzilla. I know in a lot of the reviews I do on Kong's figures, I'm always talking about how Kong is very expressive, which is cool, you know, on the SH Monsterarts. This is a very expressive Godzilla, you know, that just conveys everything about Final Wars. You know, Final Wars is a fun ride. You know, the story is not the greatest. You know, it has its good, funny parts here and there. Some parts are slow, but it just like this figure, it makes up for it in kaiju action and battles. And Godzilla just mowing down, bulldozing through every other kaiju that they throw at him. You know what I mean? And that's what makes Final War so great, you know? Also, when he kills Zilla in about 2 seconds, 2.2 seconds. But, yeah, this figure is super, super nice. Super, super nice. The articulation is absolutely fantastic. So, don't hesitate to buy this. You know, you heard the negatives. that I gave you at the beginning, swallow that pill, because it more than makes up for it. You need to have this. You need to have it in your hands. You need to feel it, which is another point that I want to make. This feels great, too. Godzilla's skin and the detail on his skin is done very well. You know, this is painted nice, too. And the skin, the texture of his skin is really nice, too. You know? So this is just hitting. I love the shade of it. I love the yellow fingernails and toenails that, correctly reflect Godzilla Final Wars. Excellent. Really, really looks like him too, which is dope. You know, when you see him in these poses, you instantly your mind goes to the movie. Awesome. Let's keep going. I want to see what else you could do. Look at that, man. You could get him in a really nice stomping position. Use the tail as a balance. Fantastic, man. You can make it like Godzilla's really gonna stomp you out. Excellent, dude. Look at, I mean, this thing can do so much, man. This is really taking the prize in terms of articulation. Wow. I didn't realize it was that good. It's so smooth. It just allows you to do so much. You know? Fantastic. I want to see what else we could make it do. You could get him in an excellent running pose. It's just so much. You could convey so much with the articulation. It brings everything out of this figure. You know what I mean? Like, the articulation turned this figure from, like, being slightly disappointed into incredibly happy that I own it. Take my word for it. Wait till you get this sucker in your hands and you see how easy it is to move around. How fluid. You know? Fantastic, man. Look at that. You could get him in a really, really nice swimming pose. The functionality of the tail and the head and neck allow for a nice swimming pose. I'm surprised how far up the head goes on this. That looks really nice. I mean, of course, if it was on a stand, it might look better. But whatever, you know what I mean? Awesome, awesome. Yeah, cool that you can even get him into a swimming position. I didn't think that was even going to be possible with this figure, but dopeness. You could get the legs pretty wide on this figure. The feet work really nice. The feet and the ankles. The arms do so much. I thought they were a little long when I first got them. Now I've gotten used to them. And I guess it's, you know, that's movie accurate. Maybe they were a little longer, Godzilla's arms in this movie. But, oh man, you know, yeah. That's great what you could do. I just wanted to show you how, you know, wide apart you can get the legs. That's another thing to note. Yeah, it's just these great reactive poses that you could get this into. It makes the figure come alive, man. You know what I mean? That's the best way I could describe it. It's just so excellent, you know? And, you know, I'll tell you right now that forget what I said in the beginning about the bad, because the good far outweighs it. Far outweighs it. Just excellent, man. Look at that. Let me give you a closer look at the inside of that mouth, too. I didn't really do that. It's a nice color. It looks wet. Awesome. Fantastic, man. Does this not convey Final Wars Goji to you? Excellent, dude. Really, really nice. Look at that. Look at the positions you could get this in. Tail off the ground and basically in a crawl position. How sick is that? That is awesome. I mean, the articulation on this is absolutely amazing. It's top notch. It makes this figure awesome. Look at the poses you could get this thing in. Sick. All right, now I just wanted to do a quick comparison with the only other Final Wars Goji that I own, which is the Bandai 9-inch Godzilla 2004, which is an amazing figure. Like, as far as like vinyl is concerned, this is probably the nicest vinyl Final Wars. Really, really nice. If you collect Bandai vinyl, this is definitely one of the ones that you want to own here. So, but you could see the size difference. That's one of the things I wanted to show you. But really, really nice. They both convey Godzilla Final Wars really, really well. All right, and these are basically all of the SH Monsterarts Godzilla figures that I've purchased this year. And I gotta say, I'm really, really happy with all of them. You know, and then I have some on pre-order, like especially the Godzilla Evolved from GXK, the pink one. I can't wait till that comes and get that in my hands, because that looks awesome. But we have the 2019 Night Color Edition, which is the Tamashii Nation store exclusive. We have Godzilla -1. We have the 1972 Godzilla. And we have the 2024 GXK Godzilla, as well as 2004 Final Wars. So, not bad. Not a bad 5 figures. I really, really like all of them. I don't really have too much bad to say about them, you know. Yeah, I bashed this guy up in the beginning of the video pretty good. And it does deserve it for the flaws that it has. Don't accept quality control issues. Those gaps in the arm should not be like that. They should be improved. Luckily for this figure, it redeemed itself in other ways, in a big way. So, but yeah, that's what we got so far this year, and looking forward to getting more. All right, so we're just gonna wrap it up. I just want to say I definitely recommend this figure. Don't hesitate to purchase it. Just expect some of the flaws. It's a little on the fragile side, so don't be a caveman with it. And yeah, you'll be happy with your purchase. You know what I mean? If you like this, go and get you some Final Wars Goji. Peace out. I shall be back soon, folks. Later, boys.